100% accurate. If it's a boy, it's a boy. If it's a girl, it's a girl. I feel like the life no balance. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you one very particular method that you can use to do what? Have a sex selection. Either get a boy or a girl, and probably how you can increase your chances of having twin conception. If you see my face for the first time, my name is Chidima. I'm a registered nurse. I live and practice in the United Kingdom. And if you're a returning subscriber, hello, thank you for stopping by. I love you guys. Without wasting time, let's dive right into the video. So, following the last video that I did, I got a request seeking an advice on sex selection and the chances of having twin pregnancy. Let us start by sex selection. I want to tell you that everything probably that you have heard about having a boy child or having a girl child is a thing of chance, is a game of chance. None of them is 100% accurate, except for one method, which I'll be discussing before the end of this video. So if you want to find out, just stick around. There are so many school of thoughts about sex selection, but the very most popular one is the Shettles method, which has been there as long as 1970, and it talks about basically knowing your cycle. You just have to know your cycle, understand your cycle length, know when you're ovulating. And then, what does this say? It says that because females release X chromosome with the egg or the ovum, and the men have both X chromosome and Y chromosome. So the sex of a child is dependent on whatever the man gives. So if the man gives X, he gets a baby girl, and if the man releases Y, for that month conception takes place, so it's basically baby boy. So now, how do you increase your chances of conception? Let us go by Shettles method. Now, if you are having your ovulation, maybe a regular cycle, and maybe, for instance, your ovulation is 28, you want to try having sexual intercourse maybe 3 to 4 days before the day of ovulation. The reason is this: research has it and science has it that the female chromosomes are very sluggish. They are very sluggish, but quite full of life. So they take their time before they get up there and meet up with the egg. Because the sperm can last as long as 5 days. So if you start to have sex earlier on, before the date of ovulation, 3 to 4 days before date of ovulation, the chances are that the Y chromosome, which is part of the men's sperm, is probably going to die off, because the Y chromosome is known for racing. They race a lot. So by the time they run very fast and they get up there and they don't find any egg, before that span of 5 days, they die off. But the female chromosome will continue to sluggishly go there and stay there even up to 5 days. So when the egg is now released, they eventually be the first to reach it. And that's how you conceive a baby girl. Now, for the baby boy, what you eventually have to do is target your ovulation. If you've not seen my video where I talked about achieving conception with ovulation, I'll be leaving the link either here or there, so that you can click on it and watch and study your ovulation and know how to calculate your ovulation. So if you're thinking of having a baby boy, make sure that you know your cycle first of all. You know when your ovulation is expected, and then you have sex close to your ovulation timing, maybe a day before ovulation and the very day of ovulation. It increases your high chance of having the baby boy. The reason is because the Y chromosome, which is the content of the male sperm, is very quick and fast. So the moment it gets into the body, it races and eventually will be the first to get there and fertilize the egg, and there comes the baby boy. Now, this method is not reliable. That's why you hear a lot of women say, oh, we tried it and it didn't work, and eventually I still had a boy. I tried for a boy and eventually I still had a girl. That is because it's only accurate 60%. The rest of the 40% is the failure rate. So if you're depending on it, it might fail you, but you might want to give it a try to see if it's going to work. Now, there's only one method only one method which you can use for sex selection and is 100% accurate. When I mean 100%, 100% accurate. If you're still watching up to this point, I'm sure you're getting value from this. Make sure to go down the description, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because it also helps YouTube to recommend this video to others. Let's continue this information. So for the sex selection, which is very accurate, we have what we call pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. And this method is just simply the woman's egg being extracted, is sent to the lab, they analyze the egg, do the fertilization, make sure that it is the particular sex that you have, and then they implant it into the woman back. You necessarily do not have to have fertility issues. Even people who are okay that do not have fertility concerns go for this method because they want the very sex, or they have a sex of choice that they want. So, but then what it means is that you're going to be having two procedures. One is the IVF, which is the in vitro fertilization, a method of assisted reproduction. And then you're going to have the egg analysis done. So what it means is that you basically have to undergo checks with your gynecologist. You'll be scheduled for your IVF. You're going to have a stage where there'll be extraction of egg from you. And then there's also going to be a stage where it has to be fertilized. After the fertilization has been done, then it's going to be sent back to the lab, and they double check the genes and make sure that it is either the girl you want or the boy you want, and they simply do what? Implant it back, and pregnancy continues. This method is very, very accurate. But the only thing to this method is it depends on where you're living, the country where you are. For some people, it's quite cheap. But if you come from Africa like myself, in Africa, assisted reproduction is very expensive. The IVF alone, people spend 5 million naira, for instance, in Nigeria. People spend 4 million. People spend even more than that. And you know that the success rate of that IVF, if you have a fertility issue, is not guaranteed. But whereby you don't have a fertility issue, remember you're going to be paying that money. Just check 5 million. They're going to be asking you to pay again for the sex selection, the laboratory work that was done on your egg, which is another money. So I feel like the life no balance, because unfortunately only the rich can afford it if you're in Africa. But in the West, the system runs in a way that it's also an option that people can be able to get. If you live in countries like the US, they're probably going to do it for you, but you just know that you're going to have medical debts, a huge medical debt that you're going to be paying back for. So this method only favors people who have the money, the resources to do it. Yes. But this method is 100% accurate. A pre-implantation genetic diagnosis is 100% accurate. If it's a boy, it's a boy. If it's a girl, it's a girl. So, but if you're relying on ovulation timing for you to get pregnant, like I said earlier in the video, it's just about 60% accuracy. But there are still people it has worked for. It worked for me. I know so many other people too, it worked for. So you basically have to maybe give it a try and see if it works. But I'm still telling you, it's just 60% accurate. The only one that is 100% accurate is the assisted method, where you have to have the egg fertilized and the genes confirmed and then sent back to the woman's body for pregnancy process to continue. Let's talk about the chances of having twins. First of all, the question I'm going to be asking is, do you have twins in your family? Are you a twin yourself? When I ask, do you have twins in your family, I mean 2 or 3 generations back, do you have that sequence of twins in those generations? And if you yourself is a twin, then you have the possibility of having a twin gestation, even though it's not everybody who is a twin that gives birth to a twin. So what is your chance of having a twin? If twin pregnancy runs in your family, or you have twins in your family, then you have the chance of having twins. Another thing I would tell you is people who are 35 years and above, women who are 35 years and above, have the high chance of having twin gestation, because At that point, you tend to be releasing more follicle stimulating hormones, which works on your ovum or your egg, that it can increase the number of eggs that you release in a month, increasing your chances of having twins. So age is a factor for you to conceive twins. Another thing I'm going to be talking about is, do you have the resources to pay for assisted reproduction? If you have the resources, when I mean resources, I mean finance. If you have the finance to pay for assisted reproduction, then you can walk up to your gynae and tell your gynae that you want assisted reproduction. You want them to do what? Fertilize the egg outside the womb and implant as many embryo that you want. If you want twins, boy and a girl, or two girls, or triplets, quadruplets, then they take this egg from you, fertilize it outside your womb, implant how many of them for you, and then here comes twin pregnancy. That's another way to achieve twins pregnancy, even though it's quite expensive for certain regions of the world. It's quite expensive. Okay, so another thing we're going to be talking about is taking medications that can multiply the eggs you release in a month. Things like clomiphene. If you are taking medications for twin gestation, you need to be very careful on this one, because that medication can make you have up to 8 babies. It can make you have eggs as much as 8 eggs in a month. So I do not, let me repeat, I do not advise anybody to just walk up, if it's allowed in the country where you live, to go and get these tablets from the store and start taking them without gynecological guidance or advice, because you will be shocked what it will give you. So these are the very ways you can increase your chances of having twins. All right, guys, this is where we'll be ending this video today. If you still have more concerns regarding conception, you can give me an email. I will leave my email in the description box. Send me an email, and probably I will answer give you an advice on what you're looking for. That is if I have your answer. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure to subscribe. Share this video to some other people who are trying to conceive either a baby boy or a baby girl, or who have the resources to go for assisted reproduction. I will see you guys in my next video. We are still in the month of October, the Women Health Series, hence the reason why we are focusing on women, just to honor women who have suffered breast cancer or have lost their life in breast cancer, because this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.